St. Louis Job Corp, next on City Corner. Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson and welcome to City Corner. Today's City Corner, we're focusing on St. Louis Job Corp. It's celebrating nationally its 50th anniversary, and so much has been accomplished across the country, but we're going to look at some of the programs that they're doing right here in St. Louis. I'm joined by Jeffrey Taylor. He's the business liaison. Let me make sure I get this, business community liaison
yes,
for St. Louis Job Corp. And we're also joined by Sophia Downs, who's an owner of Brighter Horizons Career Services, but to put that in the broader context, you're a graduate as well.
Yes, I am.
So thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So let me pull back my history here. Lyndon Johnson, during his term, the Job Corps comes nationally out of his term. Here we are in St. Louis 50 years later. Just give us kind of an overview about what St. Louis Job Corps really does, some of the highlights of its accomplishments.
Okay. Job Corps has been around for 50 years, and during that time, it's gone from being just a male program to a male and female program, and then finally to a program that trains in 14 different career fields. Okay. So there's, in construction trades, we've got painting and plastering and cement, carpentry, bricklaying and welding, and building and apartment maintenance. And then we have medical fields where we train in health occupations like CNAs and pharmacy technician. We have hospitality-based trades with culinary and material handling and office administrative and protective services. And we have advanced training programs. The Transportation Communication Union, which works with the airlines, barges, railroads, mainly the railroads, for jobs in there. We train people. We have one of only a few Carmen programs where they train to work on the rail cars. And those jobs, they come out earning 24 to 26 bucks an hour when they start.
Wow.
So there's some excellent opportunities for young people.
And so there's two components. There's kind of like, you've mentioned the career side of it, but there's the academic side of it as well. Do you want to explain that a bit further? Because I think it's important to note, students start, and we'll get to Sophia in a second, but start as young as 16 years old.
Yeah, 16, and they can enter as late as their 24th birthday, as long as they haven't turned 25, unless they have a disability. And then in that case, we can waiver the age, and we can have somebody come in at a much older age for training as it's needed. The neat part about the program is, you're right, it's not just the career field itself. You cannot get a job without a high school diploma. We offer high school diploma programs, we offer GED programs, and for those who complete both their trade, initial trade, and a high school or GED, we have an advanced training program with our community colleges. And Sophia is one of our graduates from that program, back in 2005. She completed our program with and was working towards completing a further education after she left us.
And lastly, we have photos of, I think, some of the dormitories. And I don't know if what people realize, just because there's two locations here in St. Louis. There's one off of Goodfellow and one right here in the Central West End, not too far from us. But you have students live on a campus. Do you want to explain more about that?
Our capacity, we just got some new dorms about 3.5 years ago where they were completed, and we moved our students into them. We're a full college layout in the sense of having dorms right there on the campus. We can handle the technical dorms, 475 student capacity. We're not currently using that capacity. Our numbers are at 520, and we have quite a large non-residential population. So if a young lady or a gentleman has a child they have to take care of, they can be non-residential and in our program. The capacity in the dorms and other facilities, we have recreation buildings and programs, so that we really have a whole roundabout life for the student while they're there, so that they have a chance to reset whatever situation they were in and go from there, learning all sorts of new professional habits under our guidance. And we basically help them all the way along was a process.
And I had read that a few years ago, you were one of the few, you were selected to receive federal stimulus money to totally renovate the dormitories.
We were one of the few actual shovel ready. I mean, we were day one and right off, boom, we had them. They went through the process, and the dorms were done in about a year and a half.
Wow. And
we had new students go in. We were real pleased. They're beautiful dorms. There's one female dorm building and 2 male dorms.
Okay.
And then we have two of the dorms have what we call honor dorm rooms, which are really apartment suites. And wow, my wife and I did not move into suites like this when we first got married. So they are really nice. They have a kitchenette, little dining area, little living room area, and then bedrooms.
It's very nice. It's very nice. Well, Sophia, let's talk about how you got involved, and tell me just from the start. I mean, how old you were when you first got involved, and you've kind of had different the sort of career side, and you now run your own business. So you've kind of gone through a nice transition. But let's just start with you and tell me how you first got involved.
When I first heard about Job Corp, I was 17 years old. I was actually graduating school, high school a little earlier. I was not prepared for college. So Job Corp was an option to me because I had family members who went to Job Corp in another state. And St. Louis was one of the choices that I made. And when I came, the experience was awesome. A little bit of a transition there, having to deal with or live with my peers. And as Mr. Taylor said, those numbers were a lot, you know. It could have been 8 persons to a room, you know. So, but it was an awesome experience. I started off in the painting trade. I enjoyed it. I loved my instructor. From then on, I was able to get into the ACT program, which is a college program to further my education.
And that's the advanced career training program,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And after that, I was able to get into the work-based learning program, which landed me a job with Normandy School District in their maintenance department as a painter. Not only that, at the end of my 3-year stay with St. Louis Job Corps, they give you a stipend to help you transition, and with the monies that I received, I was able to actually get a place and get a car, and then Job Corps helped me with the job. So they definitely prepare you for life, period. Not only with your high school diploma, but you're able to receive a trade and continue to further your education. Right now, I do have my business. It's different from painting, of course.
I was going to say, well, I want to hold on with the painting because we do have some photos, not necessarily of you, but of other students painting. I was going to ask you as we look at these, I mean, when you were in high school, did you think, I'm going to start studying, you know, painting? Because when I look at these photos, the students are learning how to measure, and I mean, it's construction trade. I mean, what was that like for you? I mean, did you enjoy it?
I loved it. And I love how when you go in through orientation, they allow you to do a walkthrough, and you get hands-on experience. I don't know if it's the same now as it was then, but we were able to intern in 3 trades before we actually picked the one that we enjoyed the most. And painting was, I just loved the atmosphere. The instructor was awesome, and I actually, I was good at it.
Yeah.
And actually being able to take that after I left Job Corps, I moved away to Iowa and was able to get a position with apartment complex as their maintenance go-to person. And so it's something that's definitely that you can take with you. That was the reason for me saying that you could take that certification with you and actually apply it to something else beyond just here in St. Louis.
So how do you go from the painting then and actually being employed and having, it's just an amazing skill set, especially as a woman. I mean, I sometimes hate saying that, not to say that women can't do it, but that is fantastic. But now you run, it's a staffing services, your own agency. So how did you make that jump?
Well, while I was there at Job Corps, I volunteered a lot of my time in the student personnel office, and that gave me a lot of hands-on as far as that direct contact. Of course, it was with my peers, but it gave me that communication, the general office environment. Not only that, I was the senior judge of our Student Behavior Management Council, which allowed a lot of basically the disciplinary action for the less severe offensive. So I was able to be a judge, quote unquote, to my peers, and being that type of person or having that type of role, you have to have leadership, communication, and just knowing that whatever's thrown at you, because at times, you know, students are like, you're taking away my pass. But
you get a good read on
yes,
people too.
You do.
And I think
you get to learn.
Yeah, and learn and what their strengths are, their personality. So with Brighter Horizons Career Services, which is the name of your business, what type of staffing you actually work, correct, with Job Corp now?
I've partnered with St. Louis Job Corp to help place their students. And because I've worked in a lot of different industries, I've worked in healthcare, I'm a certified pharmacy technician myself, just in human resources, painting, of course, hands-on in a lot of things, and that has allowed me to take that with my experiences, with my company. It started out with just resume writing and cover letter writing, and then it extended on to, oh, I can help you find a job. And I contacted Mr. Taylor, and I said, Mr. Taylor, I have this business that is up and running now, and so far so good.
How does that feel to have someone who, I mean, really, you're an outstanding, you know, sort of not only just case study, but example of really coming through the program. I mean, how does that feel to have a former student now essentially as a partner, as a business partner?
Wow. That's about the best way to put it. It is always nice to see our graduates come back. Most of the time we don't get to see them again. They go off and they're either they're working in their career fields, and usually about 20 years graduate, they start coming back to see what the program's like now. She came back early. So yeah, it is really fantastic. We've had students who've gone on to become engineers, and we have one that's working at MSD today, and he's come back and he's sit on our industrial council where they help advise us on what we should be training on. We have one goes back to the 80s, and she graduated and she handles a regional director's position for Compass USA, which handles 19 different school districts, food services. And so it is absolutely fabulous to see those successes. And they do come back and pester us, you know. We enjoy it.
Pester you and partner
it's kind of
with
like,
you,
it's just like family coming home.
Sure.
It really is a wonderful feeling.
Well, Sophia, congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
we've got that information again for you on your screen about Sophia's company. It's called Brighter Horizons Career Services, and you can go to their Facebook page and basically find a job or share information to find a job. There it is for you right there. But we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're still going to have Jeffrey on set, but we're also going to be joined by Nautica Allen, a current student going through the St. Louis Job Corp program, so please stay with us.
For any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes, and stay informed during severe weather any way you can.
You must be your fairy godmother?
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose one that's the right fit for your child's age and size.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember, their happily ever afters are in your hands. To find out more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Abandoned and lost. From the dark, cold streets of the city to a cage in the local shelter, to heaven, your lap.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. On this episode of City Corner, we're focusing on the St. Louis Job Corp, which just celebrated its 50th anniversary nationally. But we're looking at some of the specific programs that are taking place here in St. Louis. I'm joined again by Jeffrey Taylor, who is the business community liaison. And now I'm joined by Nautica Allen, who's a current student through the St. Louis Job Corp program, specifically the Home Builders Institute. So I think for this half of the show, we're really going to focus on women and your Home Builders Institute, but women in construction and trade, and sort of talk about that program. So Jeffrey, why don't we just first start with you and just tell me a bit about what specifically the Home Builders Institute is.
All right, well, the Home Builders Institute operates our building and apartment maintenance trade on our center. Nationally, we partner with different agencies, organizations, unions who are specialists in their training fields. We don't hire the instructor. Those organizations and their professional pick them, select them, and bring them to our centers to actually do the training. What that allows us to do is to concentrate on our operations, but know that we have some of the best instructors that are out there. Beyond the building and apartment maintenance program, you know, the Carpenters Union, we are a pre-apprentice program for the Carpenters Union, and it goes on through our other trades along those lines. But Nautica is, you know, she's getting ready to graduate from us. She's been a fabulous student for us. And some of the things that she goes through the day, they learn all about doing the maintenance of repairing building and apartment issues, electrical, plumbing, redoing kitchens, things along those lines. They actually work with our maintenance department. With the instructor comes along, follows up, does the check. And she could explain more about the day-to-day learning experiences of what goes on in that trade. Okay, so yeah, Nautica, let's start with you. So you're about to graduate. You've been involved in the program for how long now?
A year now.
For a year now. And so what's your area of specialty?
My specialty will be electricity. Electrician is what I want to leave out on. I will leave with a building maintenance certification. I already had my high school diploma when I came in, which kind of fast-tracked me and got me right into my trade. That's basically much it.
So we have a photo of you, and I guess this is probably from, you can tell me on site, we'll pull it up on site for one of your, I guess for your training. So is this just, is this on location, or is this after a class, or? Oh, actually,
that one, Nautica, not only besides doing our trade, we actually had her out at one of our representatives that went out to the youth councils. So we partner with Slate, and she sat on the youth council and has put input into the types of training youth need. And we actually do that in St. Charles County, St. Louis County, and at the city Slate. And so our students get really involved. We believe that it's not just the technical training, it's not just the education. There's another aspect. You need to become one of the citizens in your community. Yes. And this allows us to get them out there to do that. I forgot the photo.
So how's it been for you? I mean, how's this all been for you? Again, I mean, I had asked Sophia, it's like, did you think, 4 years ago that this would be an area that you would be specializing in?
Nope, I didn't. High school, I went to a technical high school. my intended dream was to become a photographer, a videographer, things like that. And as I got older, my career path changed. I got in contact with Employment Connections. They pushed me towards Job Corp. I met Mr. Taylor, and it's been change in everything. My career path changed. I initially went to Job Corp for culinary, but you get 3 trade internships that you get to go on. HBI was like my second one. Culinary really didn't work out for me. I'm like, I don't want to cook all day, so when I went to HBI, I seen a diverse in the field. It was more, I can do several things at one time. So I chose that one. It was the best fit for me.
And when you think of like construction and just even electricity, I mean, it's such a historically male-dominated field. I mean, how does it feel sort of breaking ground in that area, especially being so young?
And my trade is mostly boys. It's a lot of a lot of males in my trade. It's not that many females. When I came in, it probably was 2 females, and they were on their way out the door. Went to unions and back to their hometowns, did maintenance jobs and stuff like that. So by me being the foreman in my trade, the next person out, it's a big weight on your shoulders when you have a lot of guys looking at you thinking that this is my field. You're not supposed to be here. So you get a lot of slack, and they treat you just like you one of the boys or whatever like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're like a little sister to them. It's something that you want to embrace and let them know that not just males can do this trade, but females also.
Yeah, little sister and the foreman.
Right.
We do encourage our young ladies that come into the program to really consider the construction trades. The opportunities, especially with construction companies needing to have women come into it and minorities to come into those trades, we are constantly advising our young ladies to consider them, go into it, see if you like it before you say, oh, women shouldn't be doing that. We do the same thing with young men too. Hey, consider the medical field, consider these fields. We want a person to select those trades based on what they're good at, what they're interested in, what they end up finding a passion for. So we really spend some time. They tour the trades, they do hands-on in the trades, and then they do internships in the trades. We have a very low trade change rate, which is, we are really proud of that.
No, I think that's excellent, and having the options, as you mentioned, I think it kind of gives you, okay, culinary arts, maybe not so much, but moving into, well, as an electrician, that's something that you've found. What's next for you then?
I'm trying to get I'm trying to get to Local 57. I'm looking for a letter of intent right now. After that, I plan on furthering my education a little bit with HVAC, heating and cooling, and also fiber optics. Mr. Taylor took me on a tour of another college that they're partnershiping with, and fiber optics was one of the things that they offered. So that was something else I wanted to look into too. So more education, training it as far as electrician, and also becoming a journeyman, furthering that career path also.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah. And so how does that work? I mean, when you complete one level and say, like HVAC, I want to get the certification, is that something that Job Corp provides, or you help just bridge that transition?
It really will depend.
Okay.
Sometimes we can partner with an organization while a student is still in the program. That's part of how the advanced career training might work. If it's at a college, we may be able to set that up so they can go to that while they're with us. Sometimes we've been able to partner where they can take a program through Slate that's offered, like in the Wind manufacturing program, where we were allowed to at least get the students started in it, get them along their way before they had to leave us. We do have a time limit on how long we can keep a student. 3 years is the absolute max. Most students don't stay that long, 9 months to a year, depending upon what they need to accomplish. It's very independently based. Nautica came in with her high school diploma, so we didn't have to worry about that. Someone who doesn't, we have to make sure that's available. And they'll do that while they're doing their trade. 1 week of trade, 1 week of the academic style programs, and back and forth, so that there's a lot of difference going on. Most of our students are very hands-on people. They like things changing and moving, and so just sitting in a classroom is not for them. And we are designed not to sit in a classroom. We're out doing this on this wall or doing that. Every time I go down to center, I've been there 18 years, and I have to look around and say, okay, exactly where I'm at, because this wall is different. What happened? Well, one of the trades came through and put up a whole brick wall now, and then they'll take it down, and the plasters will come over and take down the brick and put up a new plaster wall.
Sure.
It's all part of the training. And so it is really dynamic, and it really is good for young people to have those opportunities, especially if that's the kinds of things that interest them.
Nautica, when did you feel that it really sort of clicks for you, that confidence where you feel like, this is what I'm going to do, like I know what I'm doing? Usually you have that moment, that aha moment. When was that for you?
Had to be when I was doing my internship at HBI. We were doing, I think it was soldering pipes, or it was soldering pipes. And I felt like this was something that I really wanted to do. It was more hands-on. I could be versatile with this. It's a certain way to do it, a right way to do it. And if you master it, there's a lot of money involved. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, you don't have to tell me about that off camera. We were talking about that. I mean, I was saying, carpentry, electricity, those are things that I wish I had some of those skill sets, just because it's a lucrative industry, and it costs a lot for the consumer to do that. But that's another topic. Once you get started with your career, we'll have you back. I do want to ask you about, just for people who are watching the show, about enrollment and the criteria and eligibility, because I do think that's important. Because you're making this sound very attractive, but it's not necessarily open to everyone.
It is not. It is not a program that's open to everyone. It is a needs-based program. So there's a financial criteria that you cannot be making too much money. We're designed as a program to help assist young people, like young people from Ferguson or young people from downtown St. Louis or any of the small towns who they don't see they have an opportunity. They say, I can't afford to go to college. I can't afford to take these technical trades. There's a lot of schools out there that are very expensive. You can spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 going to school. The government said we need to be able to have an opportunity, and Job Corps is that. So, but it is strictly designed for those students. They don't pay for anything in the program. They don't pay for their food. They don't pay for their lodging. They don't pay for the recreational trips. They don't pay for the training, their uniforms. They don't pay. Matter of fact, the trades get to take tools with them that are sponsored by those construction trades. They get a set of tools depending upon the job they're going into, so that they're really ready to start working. The Department of Labor and the government wanted to turn people who were unemployed into tax producers. Get them working, get them in the workforce, help them improve the economy of the area. And so we work with local governments to make sure that we're fulfilling that need for that, like say St. Louis.
Okay, well we've got the contact information for that. And again, I want you to reiterate the age group. It can be as young as 16 all the way up to 24?
24, as long as they haven't turned 25. And again, if they have a disability, we can still accept them past that age. But it does have to be a documented disability. Okay, well the information's there, right there for you on the screen. And the 50 is alluding to the 50th anniversary of Job Corps across the country. But right here in St. Louis, that's the main location off of Goodfellow. That's the phone number to call, and recruiting.jobcorps.gov. If you're interested and just want to apply. And how long does that typically take from an application for someone to reach back out to you? Is it pretty instant? It's really pretty quick. Okay. If they call the 0300 number, they'll get right into the office. The other one takes you, and somebody will get back with you. But the 679-0300, right into the office. Every week we have tours of the center, and you can come up and find out. It's every Wednesday morning. And then from there, we start you on your paperwork. And as soon as you can gather your documents, we can get you in the program fairly quickly. Okay, all right. Well, this has been great to have you here. I want to thank Sophia, who was here in our first segment, and then thank again Nautica Allen, who's current student. Congratulations on your upcoming graduation. And Jeffrey, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. You've really enlightened us, so thank you so much. And thank you at home for watching STL TV, and keep it right here to Experience St. Louis.